In this era of public cameras, you will not get away with anything. And they have uncovered the person who shot Charlie Kirk. Not only did they get him in 4K, they got him from multiple angles. Let's take a look at these videos. Here's the surveillance footage of him running on the roof. There he is right there. I can't believe there's nobody in this parking lot. There is no one here. We can assume the reason he ran all the way this way instead of that way behind is because there may have been people over there. So he ran towards a spot where he saw nobody. Now here's the thing, he's not scot-free. Someone actually saw him and made a dispatch call. Let's get to that video, which makes sense he's still running right here because other people could have been on the other side of this glass. And he's holding something long and heavy. So I want you to note that when he drops down, when he drops his backpack right here, I don't see a rifle, I only see a bag. So he must already have the rifle back in his pants pocket. And I'm gonna show you why we know it's in his pants. Because he falls, we only see him holding his backpack, no rifle. And then we're gonna get to the video showing he had the rifle in his pants. Here's the rifle video first. You see him walking with a limp. He has the rifle in his pants pocket. But you wouldn't be able to know because he's still slightly bending his leg. He thoroughly planned this out. Not only did he plan this out extremely well, but he took a different route back to his house. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when I first heard he did it with one bullet and nobody was able to track him, the first thing I thought was maybe he has some military experience. And to see him take different routes to not be easily trackable is insane. To see him run across the roof and find the place where nobody else was as well, and he probably knew there was nobody that was gonna be over there. However, they did get a picture of him on video, and this is what he looked like. He was smart enough to not put a mask on his face and not look too suspicious, but also very, very smart enough to wear sunglasses and a hat, so you can't easily identify him. But he did make one small mistake, and that's the shirt he wore. Because if he spoke to even one person in this shirt on that day beforehand, or someone has ever seen him in this shirt and they live in that state, in that area, they probably know it's him. He also seemed to have left evidence behind on the roof. I'm not sure what any of this is, but we also see the tent that Charlie Kirk was sitting under, so he had a insane vantage point. This person very thoroughly thought out every single thing he was going to do on this day. I can only imagine how long he spent preparing and planning for this, because we have very, very little camera footage of him as well. Do I think he's going to be caught? Yes, I do, because it only takes one person that recognizes his facial features, and his mom or dad would recognize that right away. It takes one person to make a call for him to get exposed. What's also crazy is before all of this happened, somebody saw him on the roof, but they questioned whether or not that was a person, but they never called the cops. Let's take a look at that video.
Getting right up.
Yeah. You think he'd already be in place?
You would think that.
Right there.
So there's somebody on the roof right there? Just saying?
Huh.
He just ran from over, where's my finger? Well, from over there, ran in, and now he's right there. Just saying.
Now, some people that saw that clip said, well, if that guy saw someone on the roof, why would he not call the cops? Do you really expect a student to know that someone was actually going to be an active shooter there? For all he knows, that could have been security detail for Charlie Kirk. And I mean, at the beginning of the video, he says, do you think they'd already be in place?
You think he'd already be in place?
They're thinking this is security detail for Charlie Kirk, because what sane person would be on the roof dressed in all black and no one called the cops ahead of time seeing him get on the roof? Now let's take a look at the person that called afterwards when they saw him running.
Maybe the CS building is just east of the library. He's wearing jeans, black shirt, black mask, long rifle.
Blue Honda Odyssey, no plate.
They got his car.
Is on top of the building on the far north side, just east of the library. Wearing jeans, black shirt, black vest.
And once again, the shooter does look pretty young, like 18 to 20, as if maybe he goes to college, maybe he goes to Utah University. So do I think he's going to be caught? I do. Now, once again, all of this is tragic and pretty insane. I just don't understand why Donald Trump would lead his followers to believe right off the bat that this is a radical left lunatic. We have very little identifiable information other than the videos I just showed you. They're also trying to pin this on trans people right now. I guess there was some writing writings on the bullets. Trump has got these people acting so insane, they're finding random trans people on the internet and saying that this was the shooter. Even people that are living in Seattle, Indiana. Let me make it easy for all the people who tell me not to dox these people. I will dox the entire Democrat Party until I find out who killed Charlie Kirk. This is what happens when you have a failed leader as a president, someone who doesn't know how to lead. Let's see what he has to say.
Not really. I'm really concerned for our country. We have a great country. We have a radical left group of lunatics out there, just absolute lunatics, and we're going to get that problem solved. I'm only concerned for the country. Yeah.
Once again, I love how the majority of political shooters have been proven to be right-wing time and time again, and he's still talking about this radical left lunatic. Where are they? I mean, you have your fans doxing people. They found a random trans person on the internet and then doxed her parents to the point they had to blur out their house on Google because the Ku Klux Klan is coming after them. And then they're coming up with their own headlines that aren't even true. Sky Valdez wanted by the FBI for questioning in relation to they're just making stuff up at this point. I mean, this is actually insane. On top of that, the picture he used was somebody totally different. This is the actual person that he said was this Sky Valdez. Michaela. 29, not 25. Seattle, Washington. What is so insane to me is the majority of shooters are white males and they're never angry about that. They're never targeting, doxing, calling, they're never declaring war over this. But if the white male shooter happened to be trans, oh, pitchforks and torches. This is the most Nazi movement I have ever seen in my life. Do you want to know how crazy this is getting? In the midst of all of this happening and somebody getting murdered in broad daylight, they posted a picture of somebody stealing hats. And they didn't talk about his friends stealing hats. They talked about the black man. Go to that video. 3.6 million views, by the way.
Yeah. Grab me out. Hey, yo, grab me out.
Let's go up, guys. Come on. Let's go up, guys. I don't know. Let's go. I have no idea. Let's go. Come on, guys. What are you doing? Get the fuck out. What? Go.
Not the white people saying, grab me a hat. It's the black man. It's crazy. At this point, what are we doing? When does it end? I swear they do not care about tragic events. They care about a narrative and it ends there. Just like all the other Republican shooters, when they find out this was a non-trans Republican shooter, if that is the case, if it turns out to be that, all of this will go away. But in the meantime, we can enjoy Elon Musk posts blaming trans people as well. It has indeed come to this. My fellow liberal me, the liberal running left, woke progressive, calling someone a bigot. Obviously, he's referring to a trans person. And the final one, bigot with a sniper. We don't even know who the shooter is yet. I couldn't imagine living my life with so much hate. You cannot be happy living like this. There's no way. If it's a school shooter, it's an individual problem. It's not a white man problem. That shooter was trans, or we have a issue. If a white man is stealing hats at Charlie Kirk's, like the people there saying, toss me a hat. Oh man, what's that guy's problem? But if he's black, I knew it! It is officially okay to be a Nazi again. But check it out. Trump made a video saying we shouldn't call people Nazis anymore, because slurs and hateful references is totally okay, but calling somebody a Nazi for acting like a Nazi, saying Nazi things, and doing Nazi things is a no-go. If someone is doing some Nazi behavior in public, call them out. We need to make these people ashamed again. I would like to see more intelligent Americans, because who wants to live in constant stress around a bunch of other people filled with hate and putting all of their insecurities onto you for the way you were born when they've never spoken to you in their life? Nobody does. Not even the Nazi wants to be treated like that, but they do it to everybody else. Here is Donald Trump's son also assuming the shooter was trans.
Again, violence against Republicans. They don't talk about the, I can't frankly.
Violence against Republicans are mainly performed by Republicans. Let's be very real here.
Name a mass shooting in the last year or two in America that wasn't committed by, you know, a transgender lunatic that's been pumped up on probably hormones since they were 3-year-olds, because they want to normalize that. And if you say something about it, it's verboten, because we're supposed to trust the science, even if it's not science, and even if everyone understands it. Those people.
Okay, we gotta figure something out. This has to be a whole new video at this. I need to make a whole new video on this. I don't understand this part of America. There is a large section of America that lives in this false reality where they all lie about everybody around them. Is it a superiority complex? What is this? They say most superiority complexes are inferiority complexes, and the superiority complex is to compensate for how inferior they feel around others. This guy just said the 5 to 6 trans shootings out of the 400 plus straight white male shootings is the problem. What different reality of America are we living in? You can't even use common sense and facts with these people. They don't care about the facts. They will keep looking for the lie. I have a theory. I think MAGA influencers purposefully lie to their communities. I think they want to keep them in fear and full of hatred and to continuously distract them. And they love the uneducated because only the uneducated buy this rhetoric. Suddenly grocery prices don't matter anymore. The Epstein files don't matter anymore. You know what does matter? Trans people existing. And it's so crazy how they just go from group to group. First it's black people, then it's Jewish people, then it's trans people, then it's everybody. How are they not tired of talking about this stuff? I'm tired of hearing it. I also want to state that the people screaming that free speech shouldn't be solved with violence just beat somebody up for saying F Charlie Kirk the other day. A whole mob. And in the comments, they all justified it and verified it. I don't know how these people are real. This doesn't feel like a real version of America. And I don't understand how these people are in any sorts of positions of power or have any influence over anybody. I couldn't imagine being this scared and stressed out all the time to the point you're scaring everyone else around you and stressing them out. You're purposefully making other people's lives worse by making your own life worse. If you locked all these people in their own gated community to where they have their final society, right? Women are their servants, no people of color. They would eventually start going at each other. Oh, gingers. It's the gingers. Oh, brunettes. It's the brunette. The brunettes are the problem. We need to get them out of here. Look. When they find the shooter, I guess we'll discover the details then. They're pretty good at these things. I don't think the shooter's going to get away. Before I go, here is someone who I'm pretty sure supported Trump, saying that Trump is the reason there's so much violence in America and has something to do with the incident that took place.
Politics definitely has a huge part in it. Trump, and when I say Trump has a huge part in it, I don't necessarily mean he's to blame for it, but he's so divisive without really even just his face is like divisive. Like people hate him so much. In the left and the right, the rhetoric, especially to me, the left is insane. And it just boils. And this happened when Trump, they threatened when his assassination attempt, there's like a 3-hour period of like, let's tone down the rhetoric.
Right.
Then they're right back to it. Paul,
you're almost there, Dave Portnoy. I think you may have some bad influences around you, feeding you propaganda, but the fact that you even had this thought shows you might have a small amount of intelligence and insight that could grow if you didn't have idiots around you. Because I'm going to tell you guys a story another day of a friend I used to have that had these Charlie Kirk ideologies. And every time I saw him, I would talk to him. He would apologize for things he didn't know. He was just listening to people like Charlie Kirk. But the next day was back to square one because all his friends listened to people like Charlie Kirk. So they were just constantly fed misinformation, were extremely racist, but they believed they were not that racist. They agreed they were a little racist. And here is Nancy Mace jumping to conclusions as well, saying that the shooter may be trans. Again, they have close to zero information on this.
This shit ends. Like, enough is enough. And now I have to deal with real safety concerns. It sounds like the shooter was a trans or pro-trans. And just because I want to protect women, that I'm worried about getting murdered? Are you fucking kidding me? It's out of control, and enough is enough, and I'm going to double down on this.
Yeah, impeach all of them. They're either incredibly stupid or they're purposely trying to piss off their audience. If you truly think Trump cares about you and his constituents care about you, why don't you ask them why they lie to you 24/7? Why are they always giving you this negative ideology and think pieces? They don't even have all the information to be jumped to the conclusions they're jumping to. She's over here saying slurs. I mean, how many times do you have to be shown that he does not care about you before you finally get up and leave the cult? How many times are you going to let these people dumb you down and keep you from getting any form of education and make you and this country a better place? America is being held back by Trump and his constituents. We have traveled back like 50 years. I feel like we are back in the 1930s and this level of hate was normal. And shout out to this guy with some common sense right here. I'm sorry, but elected officials need to be held liable for fear mongering towards an entire demographic when there has been zero evidence to align with what they are saying. This is dangerous. dangerous to say, and she knows it, will get picked up by her enraged supporters. They're not buying it anymore, Nancy Mace. They're not buying it anymore, Donald Trump. You will be exposed. And I'm going to do my best and do my part on that to re-educate the people you have misinformed so badly on everything. You will fill these people's hearts with hate. You are not a leader. You are purposefully endangering the lives of Americans with this rhetoric and this divisiveness. Why? Because angrier people are easier to control. How can they focus on somebody picking their pocket when they're already mad at the black guy across the street? Instead of actually addressing the mass shooting problem, it's now a trans problem. It's not the guns, it's the Really? We don't even want solutions for the problems we have. We want more distractions and more hate. The amount of undeserved hate I received since Trump took office in 2016, especially in 2019, 2020, was off the charts. It was universally agreed in America that Trump brought racism back. And when we had a chance to move forward again, we didn't like Kamala's laugh. America said, we'll take the Nazi over the happy person. Trump is in the Epstein files. Oh, bring up the trans again. And if you don't believe that Trump is feeding the fire into this to distract from the Epstein files, watch this video of Stephen Miller who got asked about them. This is insane.
Mr. Miller, if you wouldn't mind taking a few questions. Mr. Miller, why hasn't the White House released the Epstein files? If we could just have a moment, Mr. Miller.
Thank you very much for watching my video. I hope you have a great day. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you like, and I hope to see you next time.